Mute button. I'm a professional. Good morning, Alice. How are you? I was saying that I've got a very short amount of time today, but I'm very happy I've made some progress. Muted. I've made some progress with Chat GPT, aka George, on the mission system. So the mission system is now working for season 2 of A Life Uncharted. And I thought, look, let's do a little bit of playtesting. I've got about an hour and a half. I'm glad to hear you well, Alice. You just got off a mining event with your org. Let's jump in. Oh, hang on. Let's do a very unceremonious quick Tim Tam Slam. Oh boy, it's so cold. No big fanfare for the Tim Tam Slam today. Mm-hmm. So I thought, just like I did with the first version of A Life Uncharted, I got the rules to a point where things were playable. And then, we just started playtesting them, modifying things as we went. So I thought, look, I've got the task system working. I've got the mission system working. Let's jump in and have a little play of the early game. And see how things go with the new reputation system, the new system for unlocking the star map, which in the first version was very, very random. Now it's very much based on where you are, what region you're in, what reputation you have in that region. Let's go have a chat with this fellow down here. My thumbnail fellow on the old YouTube. And we'll see what sort of tasks this guy has, if he's got any. So we are currently, these are all the places that I currently have unlocked. Any tasks available? Oh, he's got a mercenary mission straight off the bat. Security detail needed. Client expects potential hostiles. Go prepared. Open your mobi glass and you should see the mercenary contracts available. Do you accept? Yes, please. Contract accepted. Mission details will be available in your mobi glass and a new entry is being recorded in your activity log. Let's go. Straight off the bat, we can pick up a mercenary mission. Now, I'm starting off, let's, well, let's start off with one of these, Art Corp. Yeah. I've started off with, we've got a little bit of cash buck dollary dues. We need to get rid of some of this cash buck dollary dues. Let's say we get rid of 57,000, right? Oh, that'll give us, yeah, that'll do. 5.5 grand. Starting off with 5.5 grand.
One of Foxwell's clients has a ship in trouble and they need security support. And hope you'll be able to keep them safe. Good luck.
Let's go. So immediately we can start off with a mercenary contract. What is this mercenary contract going to pay us? 53,000. All right, let's put that in our log. 53,000. Going to earn 3 reputation points for completing this mission. Start building our rep here at Lawville. which is we're going to need to build our rep here at Lawville to start unlocking more locations in this region. I'm lost. And we'll see how he goes. So as opposed to the season 1 of A Life Uncharted, where we started with a disabled ship and only had a power core, and we had to rebuild the ship, we can now immediately start with a ship and start immediately getting access to Moby-Glass contracts so that we can start using some of the in-game functions. No RP walking, definitely not much time today. Well, we've got a mission. We've got to go save this dude's ship. Well, I guess, you know, the mission really doesn't spawn until we get there. So we could meander. And obviously, you know, this character is not as exciting as Argo. Everybody knows Argo, right? The Ginger King. Everyone's favorite bogan.
Passengers disembark before boarding.
So I think once I've got things, you know, progressed a little bit further, we might get Argo back to ground zero. Oh, I don't know if it's necessary to get him back to ground zero. I don't know. This is one of the things that I've always found about computer games is I like the early game where things are difficult, challenging. You know, as soon as you get to a point, like I've stopped playing a KCD2 now. I really should get back to it. Because I'm at the point now where, you know, I'm not a fantastic swordsman, but, you know, I'm at the point now where there doesn't feel like there's any progression left for me. You know, the design of the tram station is to stop players glitching into the tracks, but I like to imagine it's to stop the poor workers from, what does that say, from ending it? Well, it's very, you know, yeah, true. I was going to say it's very Japanese sort of you know, I've never been to Japan. My brother's there right now, but, you know, you constantly see, and I guess in Singapore as well, I've been to Singapore where they have these train stations where you can't get onto the actual tracks. You can only, you know, go through the doors and the doors line up with the trains perfectly. But yes, I could totally imagine here in Lawville, it's not so much from a safety perspective or from a civil, sort of from a civil perspective. But yes, more so from the fact that they don't want their workers leaving. Boy, so we're on Curtis's account. Oh, this guy's very unhappy that there's bodies here. Is that your brother? Oh, I feel bad for you, mate. Sorry, buddy. We're on Curtis's account. He doesn't have a great deal of anything at all. Got a suit of armor. We've got some clothes that we're wearing. We've got a Cutlass Black. We've got a tad over 5,000 credits. And that's about it. We need to start building our reputation and finding a way out of Stanton. I think that's the goal for me in terms of my 0 to hero run, right? You know, what's your goal? When do you become a hero? So at the moment, in the current version of A Life Uncharted, well, in version 2, unlocking access to the Pyro Gateway will be the end of Season 2. And I haven't built that into the game, into the rules yet. It will require having to, you know, amass a certain amount of reputation across the entire system, so Stanton wide, having to, unlocked a certain number of locations and earned a certain number of reputation across all of those locations and across those regions. So the guild's going to tax me 60% of this. I'd say living somewhere other than Lawville should count, but say a hab costs 10 million to buy. It's an expensive hab. And given that you could buy a ship for less, well, we don't have any expenses. Or actually, I haven't built the expenses system in. So immediately on day one, we're starting with immediately a 5,000 credit expense in terms of our mortgage here at Lawville, which kind of doesn't make sense because from a story perspective, I've kind of been stranded here in Stanton. So why would I have a mortgage? Let's just call it rent. So I haven't finished building. This is the next thing to start working on, is the expense log. So $5,000 rent. So we got to pay our 5,000. We might as well just pay it now. We've got a little bit over 5 grand. Brutal. But that's all right, because in this new version, we'll be able to pick up new contracts more frequently than we used to. But again, that's being taxed by, in this case, the Mercenary Guild. Don't think we need to take anything with us. We'll just jump in the ship. And we'll head out there and save this guy and his freelancer. I really enjoy these missions, especially in the Cutlass Black. Rental repayments, insurance excess, habitation rental, that's for when I'm staying somewhere else, public transport, imprint regeneration, hangar rental, and landing fees. Hello? And then we need to unlock. So here at Lawville, already included in our rent, so to speak, is our hangar, access to the medical facilities. Or are they, or should we have to unlock them? I think the hospital needs to be unlocked to start with, otherwise we've got a bit of a problem. But those sorts of facilities, cargo decks, refineries, Kelto medical clinics, vehicle rental, all those things need to be unlocked. All right, let's go. You've done a few in the raft. These are... Whoa. These missions, you've done a few in the raft. It's not a bad bounty ship for up to HRTs in a raft? Doing HRTs in a raft? And I don't think I've ever gotten myself to HRTs.
That's the client. Do whatever you have to do to keep them safe.
All right, protect the ship.
Mayday, mayday! Outlaws are attacking my ship! Where the hell are you going?
What do you mean, where am I going? I'm right here, dude. Powder weapons. Betray.
Alright, not seeing any more hostiles. Think we're in the clear.
Oh, goodness. That was close.
Keep the pressure on them.
You've got to keep them off us so we can work.
If you don't do something, that ship is toast.
Fight's over here, genius.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Keep the fighters off me so I can work.
Focus. That ship is in serious trouble.
Am I gonna fail this contract?
I'm heading out. Take care.
Yes!
Anything on the scans? Think you're good.
It's a surprisingly tough ship, the Raft, and even with torque and balance, it flies well. All right. So let's have a look at our activity log. So one thing I should add to the activity log is how much I'm actually going to get paid. So this is completed. So we should have now started earning a little bit of reputation here at Hurston. Lovely, we've earned 3 rep. Got ourselves some cash buck dollary doos. Now one thing I'm going to need to have is some sort of calculator, because 53,000 times 0.6, 31,800. What's your name, Commander Alice, in game? I shall send you the 31,800. Because obviously there's no mercenary guild. And as we continue on, Alice Aurora. This one here, Alice Aurora. 31,800 is my guild fee. All right, let's head back. Maps. We'll head on back to Lawville. All right, not a bad start. You know, we picked up a contract straight away. First place we went to. We're going to have to complete 4 or 5 more contracts before we build enough rep to actually unlock somewhere on Hurston. Which we're certainly going to want to do, because the only thing the guilds aren't going to tax me for is loot. Anything that I find along the way, that's mine. The guilds can't tax that. They don't know what I'm finding. But they certainly know about these contracts because they're the ones issuing them. And because I'm currently an initiate across all of the guilds, they're going to tax my income until I build my rep with those guys as well. So we did get paid 53k. They can still tax sales of loot though, right? Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, to sell loot, I mean, I can sell loot individually at shops and stuff. But if I want to sell loot in crates of loot, then I need to build my reputation with the various orbital stations, which is where the cargo decks are, and then unlock those cargo decks. But yes, I was thinking that, the guilds, I mean, I want them to be omnipresent, right? They're really in control of, the situation. That they can tax the loot that I'm selling. I had thought about it, but I haven't written anything for it at the moment. All these people waiting for their hangars. Maybe a flat sales tax of like 10% or something. It would make things simple. I mean, even when I become a full guild member, they're still going to take 20%. It is quiet around here this morning. All right, successful mission. 37% hydration. We need something to drink. Good work, Curtis. Mission successfully completed. Everyone's favorite rebel. Oh, dear me. Argo, what a legend. Always use water. Yeah, cruise is so bad for you. Like all the sugary drinks and everything are. It would be really nice, if we have different physical states. So the better you eat, proper food and stuff, fruits, you know, all that sort of stuff. Water. But yes, water is the best for hydration. It lasts the longest. Sadly, no water. There's no water in Lawville. At least, not that I'm aware of. All right, let's head back into the city. And we'll see where we can pick up another task. Let's get back into the spaceport and then we'll check our task givers. I'm pretty sure there's one at New Deal. So we went 3 rep for that contract or for that task. We're going to need to have about, I think 10 is the minimum to unlock somewhere on Hurston. All right, let's have a quick look at our task givers here at Lawville. So the residents, which is where we picked up that job from, the Trade and Development Division, Reclamation and Disposal, New Deal, and Maria Pure of Heart. So I guess we could hit up New Deal and then Reclamation and Disposal and Maria Pure of Heart, see if those guys have got any jobs going. I think it's in the office inside. What? So I managed to get a Zeus in here. Incredible. Where is our man? You're hiding from that Zeus, are you, buddy? All right, have you got any tasks available here? It's in our activity log. Any tasks available? Oh, no. Status quiet sector. New Deal made you love the Prospector, Alice. It's such a great ship. I haven't been prospecting for quite some time. Like, properly. We had a little play around a couple of weeks ago. We'll see how Curtis' story evolves, unfolds. Maybe he'll become the Iron King. Stranded here in Stanton. No hope for ever leaving. Maybe he becomes the Iron King. Tonight you caved, Alice, and took out the mole. The Helix 2 is just too tempting with 3 filter XLS. It's nice having the mole with the different laser options and all right, let's head to the hospital. Go see if they've got any activities over there. Well, I did have the Customs and Information Office as a task giver, but I think we've changed that.
You are required
think the minimum amount of reputation. Oh, actually, no, we need guild credits, which we can't start earning guild credits until we start unlocking some locations. So we're kind of stuck here, either at Lawville or up at Everest Harbour, or one of the other major cities, doing these sorts of tasks until we can start unlocking some other locations. And when we unlock some other locations, then we can start earning guild credits. And once we've got guild credits, we can start accepting mobiGlas contracts. Whenever we've got enough guild credits to pay for them, I think the cheapest tier 1 guild contracts cost 6 guild credits.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Let's go. We'll go to the hospital. See if they've got any work.
Next stop, Metro Center.
Do I have any rules about Hurston owning my imprint until you can afford to buy it back and set it elsewhere? No, but that's amazing. That's amazing. It's so very Lawville, isn't it? So very Hurston.
Platform edge when train is approaching.
That's a great idea.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
Yeah, player. I was thinking that's very unusual armor for an NPC to have.
Be considerate to your
That's a
fellow
great
travelers.
rule.
Do not lock doors.
Do you have a rule about Hurston owning your imprint until you can afford to buy it back and set it elsewhere? We're going to have to put that into the playtesting notes.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the perimeter, spaceport, and industry lines.
As I've been through the different editions, or, I guess you could call them different editions, or the different versions of version 2, I've really dropped out all of the city gates. It's just such a shame to have all of those, city perimeter areas. Where are we going? We need to go to the hospital. It's
Welcome
this
to
way.
Metro Center.
That just don't get used for anything.
Spaceport and industry lines.
The city gates here at Lawville, being able to land at the city gates, we've got garages and stuff there. It's so good. There's just, there's nothing out there. And I don't really want to build anything in because it's all just imagination stuff, right? And that's what I've tried to get away with these tasks. Instead of, going to these locations and pretending to speak to somebody and then, taking some pretend object to, another area in Lawville, I've replaced it with this task system where it gives us an actual mobiGlas mission. All right, what do these guys got going on? These guys don't have anything. We'll go to reclamation and disposal.
Maria Thurston showed that. Help is
Yes. What do you have? Any tasks available?
together to build a healthy and thriving community.
Hey, they got a hauling contract.
That's why Thurston Dynamics is so proud to carry on her lasting legacy here at
Now,
Maria
at the
Pure
moment,
Heart
there's no
Hospital,
loss of
where we all work
reputation or
together
anything
for better
if you
health.
don't accept these missions. Let's go do a hauling contract.
How about you? You got?
We'll get another 3 credits. Another 3 reputation points.
Thurston Dynamics encourages all employees to update their imprint regularly. It is not only a great way to prevent work
Details are in my mobiGlas, they said.
Consider it to your
There it
coworkers.
is. Opportunity for an independent cargo hauler.
Together, we can make sure that you leave a lasting imprint.
Take 6 SCU of tungsten to HDPC Casillo. Okay, let's accept that. We're going to get paid 50,250. Let's put that in the log.
Welcome to the Maria Pure of Heart Hospital, a non-profit medical facility.
Now,
to improve
we're probably
the
going to
health
have to
of all
take
members
with
of the
us
extended Thurston Dynamic
a tractor beam, right?
and the community of
Where are we going for this contract?
2889.
From Everest Harbour. Okay, so we can go up to Everest Harbour. Oh man, we're gonna have to pay some landing fees at Everest Harbour until we unlock a hangar. Vacation, you took a rock DS out and mined until full, then attempted to drive back. Very difficult to navigate without waypoints. Yeah. Yep.
Foundation upon which all
It will be very nice when ground vehicles actually become a little bit more usable.
that's why
I'd love to spend more time in a ground vehicle, and obviously here we've spent a lot of time naffing about in ground vehicles, getting lost, ships being destroyed or whatever. And then trying to navigate in a vehicle is, very, very difficult. It would be nice to be able to, plot a route, so to speak. Open up the Moby Glass and, set some waypoints. Click here, click here, click here. And then you get like these waypoint markers, right? And that way, navigation would be so much better. You could actually have some proper exploration and discovery. All right, we're going to have to pick up a multi-tool. I'm pretty sure I got one.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
We do. And a tractor beam. Yeah, it'd be so nice. I'd love to, especially here at Lawville, right? You may have been saying the same thing. Going out to one of the vehicle bays, taking a rock and just driving off and going and seeing what can be discovered and found and mined and, obviously the distances we cover in a ship are vast. It's significant. It takes a lot longer in a ground vehicle. So maybe, the spawning system or whatever needs to take that into account. That, you're not able to cover such huge distances in a vehicle, but still you should be able to come across, harvestables, not frequently, but, you shouldn't have to drive for an hour to find the next batch of nodes. So the system, I think, should take that sort of stuff into account. And that then makes, ground vehicle gameplay much more legitimate. The wiggly vehicle controls make a bit more sense when you convert from meters per second into miles per hour, by the way. That's true. Meters per second. A lot of work needs to be done for vehicle gameplay to be enjoyable. All right, let's go get the ship. All right, I know that at some point we came up with a name for Curtis's ship. I can't remember what it was. Melissa's secret. Look at this guy. Like, you're only doing 36 meters per second, but when you say 80 miles per hour over that terrain, it's scary. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? When you look at it that way. Imagine doing 80 miles per hour over all those rocks and everything, over that terrain. Crazy. Cargo's prepped and waiting. Move it fast, move it safe. Open your mobi glass and you should see the hauling contracts available. Lovely, we're in. So we're going to lose a similar amount of money, around 30 grand, to the guild, to the hauling guild. But so far, oh no, we haven't earned any guild credits yet. We're just building our reputation here at Hurston. A couple more of these and we'll be able to unlock a outpost, something like Edmund or somewhere like that where we can go every now and then to see if we can find some loot. I think that'll be my aim, is to do a couple more tasks around the place. You know, if we do tasks here at Lawville, we'll start earning reputation that we can spend to unlock, you know, locations here at Lawville or at Hurston specifically. If we go up to Everest Harbour and do tasks up there, we'll start earning reputation to unlock space. So the other Lagrangian points. Getting access to refineries and mining outposts and whew. What we don't need right now is a crash. That'd be absolutely terrible. Clear navigation.
Yes, Commander. Navigation cleared.
How are you, Ramoyne? I'm very well, thank you, mate. How's you this fine, hot and sultry spring summer evening? I'm very cold, mate. It's certainly not spring/summer where I dost be. But I'm very well. We're starting off now Season 2 of A Life Uncharted. We are aboard Melissa's Revenge. Oh, boy! We picked ourselves up a hauling contract. Come and grab some tungsten from Everest Harbour, take it down to one of the outposts. Actually, this is a good opportunity to have a look around and see if they've got any loot there. Whilst we've got a mission to go there, we don't have the coordinates to go back there, but while we're there, we might as well see if we can find some loot. There's 2 freight elevators, right? No, I don't think so. Just the one. Oh yeah, there's 2. 2 and a medium hangar, right? It's a heat wave weather in the UK. 26 degrees. 26 degrees. Alright, our tractor beam works. Lovely. Feels like 29! It's a lovely day. It's not heat wave weather at all. Pathetic. Pathetic. It's not heat wave weather unless it starts with a 4. And even then, that needs to continue for 7 days. Otherwise, it's just a hot day. We've done a mercenary contract. Doing a hauling contract. Episode 1. Straight into the business. Ramoyne, put your player name, not your player name, but your account name in chat, and you can be the recipient of the Hauling Guild's taxation on this job. Sun's gone down, a nice London sunset, beautiful. It's nice catching your stream on the cusp of night. True. Let's have a look. What's the time there, hey? My little widget so I know when to phone my sister and stuff. It's 9:35 in London right now. So we've got this contract, right? And the contract's going to pay me 50,250 credits. But because I'm only a junior initiate, or just an initiate with the guild, with the Hauling Guild, they're going to take 60% of the value of this contract. And so Commander Alice was the recipient of the Mercenary Guild's tax for the mercenary mission that we did just before. And given we've got a very small audience tonight, which is not surprising given the random nature of these midweek streams, if you put your account name in chat, then I know who to send the money to. It'll be about 30 grand or something like that. Otherwise, I'll send it to Commander Alice again. Let's get our calculator back up. So what are we getting paid? 50,250 times 0.6. So 30,150 credits is the guild's fee. What they're going to take from me. Where will you find that? I don't know, whatever your account name is. My account name is Crouch, @Crouch. Where would you find it? I don't know, I'm here. That's your account name. If you press F1, it's underneath your monies. So this account is Curtis-Crouch. Flossie69, mother fig. Whoa! What we don't need right now is ship crashes or damage. Alright, let's head on down to Hurston. Let's go deliver this shipment. I think we might get changed to put a backpack on, and we'll have a quick scout around in the tunnels. And see if we can find some sort of loot. Anything's going to be useful. Certainly, actually, this is a distribution center, so being able to get hold of some early game, harvestables, we're going to need those for missions in the future when we can actually, unlock some locations. And start picking up some missions. And the missions will ask us to retrieve all sorts of stuff. And they're, themed around security or support or, mining or all of that sort of stuff. So, and they ask us to collect a whole bunch of different sorts of stuff. It's Solstice Nua. Ha ha ha, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, so if we manage to complete this contract, you shall be the recipient of the guild tax. At least damaging the cargo would be difficult, isn't it, Tungsten? It's true. It is. A little bit of tungsten. All right, so we'll head on down here. Be able to grab ourselves a hanger. Steve. RPG fan, how are you, my friend? Nice to see Life Uncharted. Summertime. I'm entertaining the kid most days. We are 2nd edition, season 2 of A Life Uncharted. Here with Curtis Crouch aboard Melissa's Revenge. And we're on our 2nd mission already. Here we go. We'll land in the hangar. That way we will be able to do a couple of quick runs and stuff. Oh, goodness me, that's very close. If you wish to send me a friend request, would be happy to accept. Oh, yes, we can do that. What's the rules with friend requests, eh? Oh, actually, we need to put this in a freight elevator, so let's position ourselves a bit more appropriately and perhaps up near the door. That would be better. On the wall's not a great idea. Alright, that looks good to me. Right. Let's power this ship down. Let's deliver this tungsten. Get paid. Send the guild their credits. Six boxes of tungsten. Unlocking our hauling contracts. Lovely. Episode 1 and we're already on our way to fame and fortune. This will earn us another 3 reputation points, plus we'll get a little bit of loot here at this distribution center. Oh, damn it, we don't have a backpack or anything. There's nothing in the ship. Oh, that's, Alright, well... Oh, dear. That's unfortunate. Alright, we'll head in and see what's around. Why do I never VTOL? Because I don't need VTOL. I don't know, just never really gotten into the habit of using it. The VTOL on a Cutlass Black is incredible. Incredible. Alright. Let's send this stuff down, get paid. Yes, sir. Confirm. I mean, I've got to say, the guild's pretty rude, right? Because I've got to pay them 30,150 credits. Plus, I need to pay the... Oh, we'll be trespassing? Since when? Since when? Oh, because I came here on a contract? I've got to pay the 0.5% too, right? Solstice Noah. We go. 30,150. And they're going to make me pay an extra 150 credits to transfer them the money. Rude. Alrighty. Contract complete. So we've earned six credits here at Hurston so far. No guild credits. We'll only start earning guild credits once we can actually start doing some missions, and we can only start doing missions when we start unlocking some locations. Let's have a look at Hurston, right? So the minimum it's going to cost us is 8 reputation to unlock somewhere. Let's have a look what they are. 8 reputation and 5,000 credits. Okay, these rivers, forward operating bases. Okay, there's nothing valuable here. Damn it! What does the guild give you in return for your credits? Missions! Like this mission that we just did. This mission was from the Hauling Guild. They give us missions. We're going to go full steam. We've only got 27 minutes. We're going to quickly go see if we can find a helmet or something we can carry out of here, given that we don't have a backpack or anything. Is it when you land the Cuddy Black or the Cutter or any shit capable of it? Of VTOL? It makes sense. It makes sense. Mr. CT, how are you? Snuck and afternoon, my time, stream in on me. Almost didn't realise. Got to be careful. I'm a product of society in public schools. Ain't that right? All right, we got to go at speed because we don't have a huge amount of time before we end up in a situation. Oh, we're trespassing. Okay. Welcome, my friend. How are you? What about uniform, health benefits, safe systems of work insurance? What are you talking about? Oh, we need these quick flares. How many of these can I fit in my jacket pockets? Some snaggle sticks. I'm going to need those at some point as well. You need all this stuff. Ah, man, this is an unfortunate situation, man. This is an unfortunate situation. Not having a backpack or anything. It's getting very hot down here, man. Oh, I don't think we can get out of here. Got to go the other way. What do you mean closed door? Let me out of here. Oh, God. They're not happy with me being here. They're not happy with me being here. 43%. Man, we took a hit on the way out of here for a bloody pair of armor. Oh, we're going to take fire leaving here as well. Okay, this is when we need VTOL. All right, we got some loot. All right, we've got to get the ship outfitted. We need to get stuff, you know, onto the weapon racks, armor and everything in here. We missed out on a great opportunity then for a whole bunch of loot that we're going to need. Oh well. It is what it is. The schooling you receive is no indication of your intelligence. Don't put yourself down. This is very true. Schooling is not fantastic. I was a terrible student. So that they get angry catching you coming out of crawl spaces. Well, it's because I'm trespassing, right? So we're going to have to either try and boot out of here with no shields. We're going to take shots from turrets, in which case we can go much faster, or we can spool up shields here now. Given that tungsten is only like 6k per SU, how can they afford to pay 50k to transport that much? I think you were smuggling something. Well, they've probably had some sort of contract here. Okay, so there's no hyper boost or anything, is there? Get that landing gear up! No turrets? No turret fire? So it's just the guards who wanted to shoot me. Phew. Won't be disappointed with that. Funny you're trespassing, but they opened the hangar doors for you. Alright, back to Lawville. And we need to visit the hospital, but oh, we've got some landing fees we need to pay. What the hell are landing fees these days? Still 1,000. We might have to boost that up a little bit. We'll see. We're making reasonable money here. All right, so I've got to pay. We landed at Everest Harbour and at that facility there. So we'll send. What? Oh. We'll send 1,000 for the first landing fee to Commander Alice. And Solstice. What was it? Noah. And our second landing fee to Lemoyne. All right, let's head back to Lawville. I'm going to need some sort of medical treatment. Guess we could get ourselves some med pens. Got medical costs and landing fees. Indeed, sir, indeed. I think the landing fees are too cheap. We'll see. Again, this is a playtest session for Season 2. But because I'm able to get Moby Glass missions, even though the guild is taxing at this point 60%, Is it 60% or 80%? Player profile. 60%. I know once I become a full guild member, I get 80%. Which kind of makes sense then if I'm like an initiate, that I only get 20% of my my cash buck dollary dues. But we don't have any tier injuries, which is nice. So a med pen, I've got some med pens actually. That'll take care of that situation. We should have landing fees per 24 hours for all but home hangar anyway. That's really difficult though to manage, right? You know, both in terms of in-game hours. If you land somewhere, they charge you. Unless you've unlocked a hangar at that location. Veto? Where the hell's my hangar? Yeah, it's banned for lunch. Don't need more. Yeah, we got rid of that guy. Got rid of that guy. All right, so we're gonna need. Actually, whilst we're here, let's chuck our clothes in the cupboard. Got ourselves a set of Inquisitor purple arms, hey? Can I carry this with me? Back to the locker. By the way, have I seen Area 18 in 4.2? I think they did us out of... hang on, wait. No, I haven't. I think they did us out of some rainfall at Area 18. I haven't. Am I using the same model for your landing fees as a commercial car park does? Parking fees? Look, it's pretty simple. If you land there, you pay a fee. And within reason, right? If I land at like an outpost and then, you know, I'm still at that outpost and I'm doing things and I leave the pad and then I come back and land on the pad again, you know, that's all okay. But if I leave and then later come back, you know, I got to pay again, right? Excuse me, allow me to put armor. Allow me put armor. All right, we can sell this stuff, this Inquisitor Arms purple. Let's get ourselves, what else do we have? Med pens. Let's stick some med pens in here. I've got a pistol, an A4. We've got a bunch of ammo. Let's get a bunch of ammo on the belt. We've got some random picos and stuff. No other weapons. We've got some sustenance. We've got 5 crews in our backpack. Perfect. We don't have any other clothes, we don't have any vehicle stuff, and we don't have any more armor except what we've just looted. So what we've got right now is what we've got. Outpost pad should waive fees if you use services. Well, look, we need to see how the... I hesitate to use an economy. We need to see how what the cash flow looks like. Because, you know, we started with a little over 5 grand, 5,350 credits or something. And we immediately had to pay our $5,000 mortgage. So we started, you know, episode 1 with whatever, 300 credits or whatever. We've done a couple of missions, and even after guild fees, landing fees, we've still got 39 grand. That's a pretty good cash buck dollary doos. Now we can put the rifle on here, but sadly there's no slots for pistols. One of the shortfalls of the Cutlass Black. Let's stick that in there. Let's stick that in there. Okay, let's derobe. Now, I haven't decided if you know, I'm going to play with the same restrictions that Argo has on, you know, not wearing armor and stuff while I'm flying and, you know, not carrying guns in the city. And it would make sense, but I'm not sure. Right. Let's head over to Reclamation and Disposal. See if they've got any tasks out there for us. So we're going to need at least 15 rep, I think, to unlock a location that allows us to go somewhere to start earning guild reputation. And once we can start earning guild rep, we can start using our mobiGlass a bit more. If Argo is the Ginger King, what is this person? Who's Curtis? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to find out, I suppose. The more time we spend with him. Curtis is kind of like the alter ego of Argo. He's been a mercenary in the past. You know, he probably came here to Stanton on some shady, dodgy business. And just like Argo, you know, Argo came here. Well, Argo's from Lorville, but Curtis has come here on some shady business. And has been stuck here as you know, wormholes and stuff have closed and access to them is restricted. Doesn't, you know, I guess we'll find out, right? I guess we'll find out more about Curtis as we go along. Move forward. Move forward. This guy, man, still crying over his brother. And somebody had stripped him naked too. Rude. All right, so we'll head off to Reclamation and Disposal. So far we've checked for activities at the Lorville L19 Residence Tower. New Deal. Maria Pure of Heart. We picked up our first contract of the first office we went to. Beautiful mercenary contract. New Deal didn't have anything for us. Maria Pure of Heart sent us on this hauling contract. So we can go check the admin office and Reclamation and Disposal. I think those are the rest of our task givers. Here at Lorville. The Trade and Development Division. Okay, so Reclamation and Disposal, and then off to the Trade and Development Division. You see the regen crisis is affecting Lawville with bodies on the streets. I haven't seen bodies for such a long time. This has really only started since the free fly, since Invictus. I don't know why. Excuse me, what's the time? 7 o'clock. Okay. Got about half an hour. Yeah, we don't have long today. Just a very quick short stream. Jump in, start playtesting a little bit. And see how things go. I do like, you know, getting away from the imagination gameplay. And actually just straight away getting into some tasks.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
I think we just need to balance the money as we move forward. You know, in a play session of sort of 3 hours, let's say, we keep each episode to sort of 3 hours. How much cash buck dollary dues are we going to make in that 3 hours? And obviously that's going to escalate the more, you know, I progress, the more locations I unlock, the more opportunities to earn guild credits, which I can then use to do Moby-Glass contracts.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
I spent like 250k on refinery jobs in those 3 hours.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not walk.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to significantly increase some of the costs. Maybe even, you know, just change the guild structure so it's exactly the same. Like as a full guild member, you know, I get 80% of the value of the contract. But as an initiate, I only get 20% rather than the 40% that I'm getting at the moment.
Transfers to the perimeter.
I think I might need to significantly have a look at the cost of unlocking things like refineries, which allow you to make cash back dollary dues. I think to unlock a refinery at the moment is 20 reputation points and 25 grand. I might make like the refinery 50 rep and, you know, 200 grand to unlock a refinery, 250 grand or something to unlock a refinery. Probably pull like 3-ish million, so not exactly best per hour, but was fun. What I might do is I might quickly buy a med pen while we're here. Yeah, so ideally I want to be earning sort of 30,000-40,000 per hour. I don't know, we'll see. I certainly don't want it to be in the millions. That's just nonsense talk. All right, let's get that little bit of health situation sorted out. Stimulus didn't pass through your previous comment, CT. I think it didn't like me using a certain word. That's fine. Just curious. I can't see what it was.
Be sure to discuss side effects with your doctor or pharmacist.
I don't know if I've got any filters running. Maybe, excuse me, maybe there's some like default filters or something running on certain words. All right, we'll head over there to reclamation and disposal. It involved a very mild reference to violence. Run! To the bar. This guy's on a mission, man. Well, actually, the other dude was on a mission, wasn't he? Will we get lucky again? I think there's like a 30% chance of picking up a task from these task givers. Maybe a 40% chance. I can't remember what I made it. Or I should say there's a 60% chance that there'll be no task, available. This guy used to give us work, but not anymore. All right. Do you have any tasks? No contracts available, but for now, there's nothing on the board. Come back a little later. Something always turns up in this system. Okay. The freaking TDD, man. It's a long way away. And then we'll see if they've got anything there. Otherwise, we'll head back to the L19 office. It's been over an hour since we were there. The prospector is 2.9 million, another 500k to outfit it. I'd say by the time Argo gets there, charging extra fees is probably not needed. Refinery cost fees anyway, that's true. All right, let's head on. We'll go through the pub. We'll head over to Leavesden. We can catch a train from Leavesden straight to the TDD.
Welcome to Leavesden Station. Transfers to the Central Line.
I understand that a lot of people are scared, but know that we are leveraging the full power of the UEE and the science.
They're leveraging the full power of the UEE. You know, I do want being able to buy a new ship to be like a momentous occasion. I don't want it to just be like the norm, right? Even saving up enough cash to buy an Atlas should feel like a really solid achievement. Let alone spending 2.9 million on a prospector. That would be like a holy shit day, you know? All right, to the business district. Let's go. Step back from the line, my friend. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Glad you listened. Glad you listened.
Serious and dangerous offense.
Yeah, buying any sort of ship or vehicle should be monumental.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
You know, I'm different than everybody else, right? Super different. I want the game to... I want there to be, like, progression, meaning, purpose. And that when you actually buy a new ship, it should be, like, an incredible moment. You know, you really got to think about, you know, what ship am I buying and why am I buying it? Rather than just, oh, I'll get this ship so I can try it out because, you know, next week I'll have another 10 million and I can buy another ship. Argo strikes me more as a salvage guy anyway, but even then the Vulture is 2.7 million. Yeah, Argo's totally feels like a salvage guy. Whereas Curtis would totally be a prospector, right? Argo totally feels like a salvage guy. He's just, oh, you know, here's something I found. Oh, this is an opportunity. Whereas Curtis is like, I'm going out there to find, you know, mountains of gold, or I'm going out there to find mountains of quantanium. You know, he's a go-getter. Argo is a, oh, here's something, you know, what can I do with this sort of guy. Oh boy. It might only matter if they come across Crouch's stream and realize they had the same character at the train in their video at the same location. What's this about? I always wonder how many other players I see in your streams are themselves also streaming. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, let's go see Constantine and see what he's got to say. I might change this mission giver to the admin center. Which allows for opportunities for, you know, unlocking the TDD and placing temporary restrictions on being able to access it because of, you know, negative rep or whatever. So we'll head on over to the terminals. We'll go see Constantine. Stuff it. Go see what he's doing. Is he in there? Looks like it. Looks like a little head there. That's like a massive security breach. You know, he's got his computer right there, and we can all see straight in the window. You know, when I had my software development business, my software development company, we dealt a lot with government data and interfacing with government systems and stuff. And we, you know, part of our security measures, you know, we couldn't have any any monitors that faced a window. So you couldn't have a window behind you because people in the other buildings and stuff would be able to look in and see what you had on your screen and stuff. That was part of our compliance requirements. What's going on, Constantine? What are you doing? Calypsia, how are you? How did I miss you going live? Well, it's good to see you too, Calypsia. How are you? Been playing June for a couple of hours. So far, I've managed to resist. Do you have any tasks available, Mr. Constantine? It's a mercenary mission. Yes. Your earlier comment edited, Argo makes everyone cower. I see Curtis just outright ends them. So many bodies. Don't resist. One of us. Private party requesting muscle. Minimum questions, maximum caution. Open your Moby Glass and you should see the mercenary contracts available. Yes, please. All right, another mercenary contract. And another 3 rep. I need to check this. It's supposed to be variable, but they've all been 3 so far. All right, let's have a look. What do we have? Another mercenary contract, hey? So we could go do another one of these yellow level contracts. Ship under attack. Halt illegal surveillance. We could do a combat gauntlet, scenario number 1. Probably not a bad one to do. Oh, excuse me. What are we at? We're at 7:15. Actually, we don't have a lot of time. I don't know if Gilly's flight school is going to be continuous. I really hope it is. You know, when 4.2 comes, if they're going to scrub Gilly's flight school, you know, it was introduced as part of Invictus. You see, I guess if I did get into playing Dune, then I wouldn't have to do all of this custom narrative story stuff in Star Citizen. I could just play it for the nonsense it is and actually enjoy a game that has all of that stuff built into it because it's an actual game. Exactly. I have watched a few videos on Dune now. It does interest me. I will admit, it does interest me. You can help me with the difficult places that I'm getting into that I can't do by myself. Oh, I'm bad already with group gameplay and playing with other people. I mean, how long have I been doing this now? And like, how often have I organized, you know, things to do on the Discord or played with other people? I've made no secret of the fact that I'm a lone wolf, but it would be nice to play with people in a game that, well, I'm so bad. All right, let's grab another one of these yellow level contracts. All right, this is the Hurston weapons testing one. Let's do this. Another 53,000 for this contract. All right. Let's go do this one, and I think that's going to be all we're going to have time for today in this little short stream. Managed to pick up 3 contracts straight off the bat. Except I'm on North American servers. You'd probably you'd play on Aussie servers probably. I've no idea. You know, I don't know what the shards are or the regions or things like that. I know that with many MMOs, you know, you need to create, if you want to play with other people, you need to have characters on the same shard. So, refines. If this is a test of a Life Uncharted 2.0, do we still find Curtis for going to the TDD while pretending to be Argo? No. Well, I mean, Argo has his own custom rules. Again, the Life Uncharted rules as a whole, at least version 2, I'm designing to be playable by anybody who wants to, you know, change the way that they play Star Citizen to be a little bit slower. So, you know, so Curtis has very different, you know, he doesn't really have a proper backstory and, you know, all that sort of stuff, which is, you know, a great deal of what influences Argo's gameplay. You know, Argo's not allowed to go to the TDD, not because of the rules, but because of his backstory and his relationship with the Hurstons. You're hearing there are questions over the late game in Dune Awakening to do with the land strat and access to content. I'm sure some people are already at the late game. This was one thing that used to frustrate me a lot when I used to play a lot when I was younger in my early 20s, when I used to play with a group called the 19th Battalion, is, you know, people would just rush through games so quickly. That, you know, within a couple of weeks, you'd already be at end game sort of content and the game would start feeling old and just, you know, what do you do now, right? Which is why, you know, here in A Life Uncharted, I really want it to be slow. It should take 6 months to be able to buy a new ship. It should be a momentous occasion. You know, I'm after that longevity. And, I mean, you don't get that in games these days. You don't get that in anything these days, you know. Everything is super quick. Minimum 3 months to buy a new ship. Minimum.
Now arriving. Kisa Spaceport. Please watch your step when disembarking the
A
train.
year and a half to get to late game. But, you know, people don't have the patience for that sort of stuff, right?
Hurston Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
So games aren't built like that. What is all that banging?
Or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and
I think my
dangerous
wife might be
offense.
up. All right, we'll finish off this mission, and then I've got to finish up. That's why they're coming out with DLCs every single year. Mm-hmm. RSI needs to toss some coin your way to create the RP part of Star Citizen. Look, I'm sure they have a very good idea of what they want to do. It just takes a long time, right? You know, they're building such an immersive, massive game. I'm sure they've got some idea of what they want their end state to look like. I'm just tired of playing these sorts of games where, well, certainly from an MMO perspective, and, you know, I've probably played about a dozen different ones. Some, like, fairly significantly, and others just a little bit. But, you know, it's always a rush on how quickly can I get to late game. And I hate that. I want everything to be... I want to be able to absorb what's going on and be involved in it and be a part of what's happening, rather than, you know, how quickly can I do this? How quickly can I get to level 80? And I guess from my perspective, you know, again, when I was playing with the 19th Battalion, you know, I was working 100 hours a week back then. I didn't have huge amounts of time to just play every day. And so by the time the group had gotten into a game and I was able to get into it, everyone would be, you know, 40 levels ahead of me. And by the time I'd caught up, they'd moved on to a different game. I mean, my life is very different now, obviously. You know, I'm in my late 40s now, so it's been a long time. And I'm certainly not working 100 hours a week anymore. All right, we've got everything aboard the ship, so we kind of really need to be careful. I mean, this shouldn't be too difficult. This shouldn't be too difficult. I enjoy these contracts. While it's fun for those who play it, I see COD as just another form of FIFA, and I never got it. Why people paid so much for just a few features each year that kept changing. It is kind of like FIFA. Well, you know, that's what it is. You know, that's why there's whole, you know, esports and stuff around it, because it can be treated like that, right? From this match perspective. What's going on with this view here? Camera's freaking out. NPCs are funny. While kneel on the ground, there are chairs right there. Well, the NPCs, man. The NPCs. So I think I will pick up June at some point. And check it out. I really don't know a great deal about it. But I'm assuming, like many MMOs, you know, it's got raids and all that sort of stuff, or dungeons, and they're probably not called dungeons, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a released game, right? So it's got to have lobbies and stuff, and looking for group, you know, rooms and all that sort of stuff. Hello. It's more of a survival MMO. Okay. How can this be obstructed? How can this be obstructed? Doesn't make any sense. What? Obstructed. Oh, I think I know what, because it's on the other side, right? It couldn't plot a course around Magda for me? So it's more of a survival MMO. You have to hunt NPCs and steal their blood to process back at your base and make water out of it. Love running around and being a little vampire. That's crazy. Amazing. I did watch a little bit of Vortivid's video yesterday. And he was talking about how people are building all these gross bases everywhere. Just blocks. And then he challenged morphologists to a base building competition. I don't know. I'll check it out. Maybe I should. You know, I've never really been into base building games. You know, base building survival games. They've all just been upsetting.
Okay, that's who you're here to protect. Make sure they stay safe.
All channels! I'm under attack! Please, if you hear this, help me!
Hey, you're doing good. Keep it up.
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you. Hey.
hostile activity. Giving you the all clear.
Shields are down. Why are my shields down? Power to shields.
Of course, Commander.
Because they're turned off. What happened to my weapons? Where's he gone?
Thank you. I thought we were done for.
Scans are clean. Job well done.
Set a course for Lawville. Set a course for Lawville. I'll do it myself, Atreyu. All right, Calypsia. What is your in-game name? You can get the guild tax for this mission. All right, the mission was worth $53,000. The guild's going to tax 60% of it, so 31,800. There is only one Calypsia. 31,800 is the guild's fee. And that contract is completed. Lovely. So we should have now nine rep. We've earned 9 rep at Hurston. Another 2 missions and we'll earn enough reputation to unlock a location. Maybe Edmond or somewhere close to Lawville, so we can have somewhere to start going and looking for, random loot and stuff. Thank you for your cooperation. It is truly appreciated. We don't have to put a bounty on you for non-payment this time. All right, let's go. And I really want to play for a little bit longer. But sadly, we're out of time. It's almost 20 to 8 and I need to get the ninja up and get her ready for school. But I'm liking this so far. We've done what? 3 contracts? 3 contracts. We've got a bit of cash buck dollary dues. 60 grand. We'd have a hell of a lot more if our rank with the guild was better. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Calypsia. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. I'm going to get the ninja ready for school and then go to bed. Oh boy. The guild also thanks you for your contributions and hopes for a more profitable future laying ahead of you. Let's hope so. I think the guild's just really interested in more cash buck dollary dues. What the hell do they actually do for me? Tax, that's all. Well, they organise the contracts, don't they? They make sure there's work available for their members. I've just realised why I don't use VTOL much when I'm landing is because I like to do these B-hole entries. And I don't need VTOL to do these sorts of entries. In fact, the VTOL wouldn't be of any use to me in this situation. Except perhaps maybe for when I get to the last few meters there where I'm levelling out. Land pointing straight down. I point down into the hole and then I level out and land. You prefer to come in, hover over the bay and then strafe down. No, I fly in like a bee and then level out in the hangar and land. Oh God, why did I park all the way over here? Alright, let's go store the ship just to prevent anything weird from happening. Let's go, Curtis. Let's go.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Alright. So what do we end up doing? Activity log. So we did a mercenary contract, then a hauling contract, and another mercenary contract. All of them have been completed. I'll need to check and see what's going on with the rep. This should be a variable between 2 and 6. So I don't know why it's given us 333. That could just be coincidence. But I'll have to check. When we do these random tasks, the reputation that we earn should be randomized between 2 and 6. Not going to be able to start earning any guild credits until we actually get missions. But the mission list now is monstrous, thanks to the work that Gary did. Gary put all of this together. I gave him the list of all of the items and stuff that we need. So we had all of these categories. Clothes, tools, food, drinks. So I gave all of these lists to ChatGPT and said, make me some custom missions that make sense. And so he gave me back, I think we've got 192 unique missions in this list. Yeah, 192, I think. How many rows do we have? 191. Emergency habitat delivery. Our outpost, and they gave me a narrative description. Our outpost suffered critical equipment loss during a storm. Deliver both mining yields and replacement gear. It's affiliated with the Rock Mining Guild. We're going to earn 4 guild credits, 3 reputation points, and get paid 8,600 credits. And they want 4 Dollarvine, 4 Aphrodite, a Cambio Light SRT attachment, and a work vest. And then we also put together some chained missions, mission chains. So chain 1, Black Sand Syndicate, salvage and recovery. So you go through each of these 4 missions. And, you know, they slowly level up, right? 4,000 credits, 9,200 credits, 14,800 credits, 26,000 credits. 3 contracts for the Salvage Guild, 1 for the Bounty Hunter. So rival scavengers moved in. Secure key salvage and neutralize threats. That's amazing. So obviously at the moment, the missions can only really be retrieval sort of missions, right? You know, that's all we've got in here is retrieve stuff and bring it back. So we've got a whole buttload of missions here that are randomly selected. All associated with different guilds, so we can earn, you know, guild credits. What's the max guild credits we can earn? 10. What is that mission about? We've got a bunch to choose from. Commodity trading, rock mining, salvage, collection, paying mid 20,000 credits. Are these... What is this? Bring 10 burritos, 10 smoothies, 10 energy drinks, 10 alcohol, 10 fruit, 10 sandwich, 10 protein stick. What is this? Export contract for luxury food and drink to microtech markets. It's a mega contract, a mega civilian mega haul. Luxury export. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for chilling out with me today. It's been super fun. Having a little bit of a play test of A Life Uncharted, episode 2. Well, episode 1 of season 2. Season 2, episode 1. It's been absolutely fantastic. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow morning when I'm back from work. We'll have another little bit of a play around and see how things pan out. It's time to get the ninja ready for school. Whatever you do, have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful day. And I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.